In today's world, technology is rapidly advancing and video games are becoming wildly popular among young people. Parents should know that video games have a range of different effects, such as increased exercise or less exercise, better social skills or lower social skills, and higher grades or lower grades, depending on how you look at it and what type of games you play. For the first point, video games can encourage or make physical exercise less or more depending on the type of games you play. For example, games like Nintendo Boxing, Wii Sports, and Just Dance promote physical exercise and make kids encouraged to do more. But other games like Minecraft or sit-down games that you just play with a handheld controller on the computer do not encourage physical exercise because you're sitting down the entire time. So it really depends on the type of games you play if you want to encourage physical exercise. My second point is lower or higher social skills. Depending on the game, again, like I said, you can either be isolated and play by yourself and stay away from your family while you're playing the games, or you can play with a group of people or online with others and you can call them over the game, or you can play with a group of people you've never met before if your parents allow you to do so. So depending on the game, social skills can increase because you're meeting new people, or they can decrease because you're isolating yourself from others. My third point, lower grades or higher grades, depends on the game again. So if you play educational games, or depending on the age of your kid, abcmouse.com or other educational games can help your kids learn things, or Minecraft can help teach your kid coding. You can get higher grades and learn more about the world, but if you're playing games like Fortnite or shooter games that are just violence and other things, you're not really learning anything, and grades can lower because you might form an addiction to those games and then not focus on schoolwork. So overall, it depends on the kid and the parent, and it's up to the parent to decide what type of video games that your child can play. So make sure that when you're letting your kid play video games, you know the type of content they're consuming and you know whether it benefits them or not. Thank you. An exemplification of the video games that I talked about previously would be virtual reality, which is a new emerging technology. Virtual reality amplifies the effects that I've talked about because it's so real and personal, because you have the headset on and you can interact with the things literally around you. VR can totally isolate you from the world because it takes you to a new universe, or it can help you because you can join with other people and learn about the world around you. VR can also be a great example of video games that can help your kid or help teach them about the world if it is used properly and with the correct balance. As a counterpoint to the lower grades argument, VR and other video games are being used for educational purposes. For example, things like linemen or big trucks and technology that's not safe for students to use can be simulated in VR or other video game technologies. This can benefit their education, train them for things that could be used towards jobs, and help them with their future. They can earn certifications by learning the technology through video games, and then that will help them to get a job, which will help them for their future, and so on. At my school, Cobb Innovation and Technology Academy, we're implementing virtual reality and augmented reality within our pathways. For example, in surgical tech, they're using augmented reality to look at the human body and see how to perform surgical things so they can learn how to get their certificates without actually having to cut someone open. In other pathways, we have heavy equipment operator VR, we have construction, and we have welding, along with lineman VR. These are all helping the students earn their certifications, which will help towards their jobs in the future and has a good impact on their life. So this is an example of how video games or virtual reality can be great for the future and help with jobs. In conclusion, it's all about teaching your child about balance. Too much of video games can be bad, but not enough can also be boring maybe for your kid. So having a correct balance of video games and social life, going outside, talking to your friends, and doing schoolwork can be a good thing, because video games can have positive effects. It's not always bad, and the first thing you see on the internet isn't always true. So just searching up the effects of video games could lead you to believe that video games are horrible and have no effects for your child, but that is not true. Make sure to talk to your kid about balance and find out what's right for you and them. Depending on the content you consume, it can be great for you or it can be detrimental to your kid. So as long as you have that balance, it's going to be okay. So make sure you have that talk with your kid and find out what's right for you and them.